So I just watched a very interesting YouTube video from Ali Abdal, and I think the title of the video was How to Start a YouTube Channel. One of the most interesting things in the video was Ali Abdal saying, what is the purpose behind you starting a YouTube channel? Like, that is the foremost thing that you need to figure out. And that made me think about my purpose. Why did I start a YouTube channel? What was the reason? Was it to have a passive income? Was it something else? And that made me think, obviously, you at some point want to be monetized and start a passive income. But when I really thought about it, I feel like the reason I started my YouTube channel is because I genuinely enjoy content creation. If you rewind a bit, I've been creating content on LinkedIn for about 2.5, 3 years now, which is, I mean, I've been on and off in terms of consistency, but I wouldn't say that I've been off for a long time. It's always been just a couple of weeks if I'm taking off, but I'm right back on content creation when it comes to LinkedIn. I want to do the same with YouTube because what I realized is because on LinkedIn, you can't really be creating content that is super long form. I mean, yes, you could try and it works every now and then, but you can't really express yourself and you really have to strictly keep it to your expertise. On YouTube, I feel very liberated because I can create long form content. I can actually speak my thoughts out loud and I don't have to worry about sticking to a certain time limit or worrying about the fact that what would people think about my content. I mean, yes, that's all, that is always a worry in my head, but I realize that, and as evident from Ali Abdal's video as well, nobody really cares, right? And you have to be okay and comfortable with the fact that the first few videos that you upload are more for testing reasons and people are not really going to care. So nobody's really going to watch it. You're only going to have 100 or 200 view count, which is great because then you realize that not a lot of people are watching. So you don't have a lot of pressure on you. Yes, there is a pressure that you have to make it really good because if you want to reach a certain milestone or let's say 1,000 subscribers or 100K subscribers, you have to start to create very good quality content. But in the beginning, if you're just starting out, it's fine. I think I genuinely believe that because your first few videos or any form of content, really, if you want to grow an audience, is more like a testing ground for what works and what doesn't work. It was the same for me on LinkedIn, right? When I started initially on LinkedIn, it was terrible. Now that I mean, at the time, it did not seem terrible, but now that I look back and I read my content on LinkedIn, it's cringy. And I'm like, why did I even talk about that? But I think that's the whole point. In the beginning, your goal should be to put as many reps in as possible so that you can have more data to work with. And then you can leverage that data in terms of what's working and what's not working. What do I have to eliminate? What do I have to talk about? So that is, I think, my mindset when it comes to content creation, especially on YouTube. It's an amazing opportunity, isn't it? And I feel lucky because if I'm able to speak to the camera, I'm able to articulate my thoughts in some certain way that people might resonate with. And if I can stick to it in the long term, be consistent, I think that is something that I feel lucky about because I believe not a lot of people have that. And if I have that dedication, I can truly make this work in the long term. Now, if you talk about LinkedIn and LinkedIn only, I started creating content because I wanted to engage with people who were out of my reach, right? Because I thought, why would somebody talk to a guy from Pakistan who doesn't have anything to offer when it comes to value? But I started creating content in the hopes that someday it will kick off. And I feel like now it has generally kicked off. I'm running my own podcast. I'm talking to amazing founders and entrepreneurs every single day. And, the feedback on my content is good. So I think that has paid off in some way or another. But it wasn't always like that. In the beginning, I was just trying to reach people. Then I became an intern. So now I wanted a full-time job. Then I landed a full-time job. Then I wanted to change jobs. So then I changed jobs all through content, by the way, and my personal brand. So once I did that as well, I realized in the end that the reason I was creating content on LinkedIn specifically at that time was because I had different goals at each and every stage. But at some point, I realized the underlying goal was money, which did not really resonate well with me eventually, because then I realized if I'm doing something for money, it's not sustainable, right? Because at some point you'll be exhausted and you'll feel like work has become a chore and you just cannot live with it anymore. With YouTube, I don't want to make that mistake. I don't want to create content because I want to get money. I want to create content because, one, I genuinely want to get better at YouTube. Second, I want to articulate my thoughts in a way that I'm not being able to do on other platforms such as LinkedIn. And I want to be consistent because I want to get that habit in me. If something doesn't work initially, then I want to stick at it with direction that it's going to eventually work out. So these are the things that I'm trying to target in my YouTube account. So to go back to the beginning, why did I start my YouTube channel? Content creation. I have a passion for it. I feel like I'm good at it, or eventually I'll be good at it and I'll be up to the standard that I think that I want to be at. And then once that happens, I think I'll look back and realize that, you know what, I've had some hard times. I have had some tough times. Even right now, I would consider this a tough time in terms of my career or financial freedom. But I think everything pays off with time. And my dad used to say, as long as you have a head on your shoulders, you'll be fine. So that's the mindset that I have right now for YouTube or content creation or my career in general, I definitely see this as something that I'm going to be doing for the long term. I do not plan to quit, because on days, even today, like the reason I'm creating this video is because I felt like it's a Sunday, I don't have anything to do, and I was tired. I wasn't tired, but I felt like I was mentally tired. But the moment I sat down to start recording a video on YouTube, I generally felt this surge of energy come into me, and it started flowing within me. And I realized that content creation is something that really makes me tick, if that makes sense. And I'm not expecting any quick returns in 1 or 2 or 3 months. No. I know that if I keep at it for 1, 2, 3 years, I'll definitely get something out of it. So content creation is the reason why I have a YouTube channel. I'm looking forward to produce more and more content, and I hope you guys enjoy it eventually, because I know in the beginning it's going to suck, and I'm completely fine with it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you had something to take away from this in terms of value. And I hope this was helpful in some sort of way. And yeah, if you are enjoying this by any chance, please do subscribe and leave a comment and like the video. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to create more and more content.